be part of us.
All right, welcome, welcome, welcome to Mojo Monday. I have my Mojo. I am Marcianne. I am a Ruby leader here at Trinont, and I have some special certifications that have helped me be able to grow a business without burnout because I was at another company, but just totally burnt out. And so life has a way of teaching you what it is that you're needing and what you're wanting and what you're praying for. And so I have some certifications that help understand not just mindset, but also emotions and how that helps accelerate the result. And so, before I introduce our guest co-host with us today, I want to just real quickly talk about something called emotional memory. And the reason why we had a little bit of a dance party at the beginning through music is how many times does a song come on and it immediately makes you feel better and it transports you to a memory that you have had? Or, it's Christmas time right now, a sound or a taste or a smell, and it immediately brings you right back to a memory that you had, right? That is called emotional memory. And what it does is when you get into that emotional memory, it immediately brings you back into that vibration of when you were there, right then. So using a tool like music or a smell or a sound or a taste that can help you change your emotional vibration to something that you really want to be feeling. Like maybe you woke up and you're having that migraine, or maybe something just happened and your day is feeling like it's falling apart, and yet you still want to show up, you still want to be present, but you want to make sure that when you're working your business, you are putting out that vibration that you want people to receive from you. This is a tool, the emotional memory tool, to listen to a song or to smell a smell or something like that. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the future, like at the end of this. But the reason why I want to talk about it real quick before I introduce Megan is because emotional memory can also happen when we hear a training. It can be through the spoken word as well. And so, as you are listening to what Megan is sharing today, and then as what I'm going to share at the end, if there is something that just speaks to your soul and you immediately have this like connection, right? You're going to want to write that down. Maybe not word for word what they said, but word for word what you heard, what really connected with you. You're going to be connecting those dots. You're not going to necessarily write specifically what was said, but you're going to write down what spoke to your soul, right? And then you're going to use that as a way to get into that vibration in the future. So I just wanted to preface that as I turn it on over to Megan to be listening for when you have that emotional connection, because then you can use that as an emotional memory. So, enough blabbering on my part. I want to introduce our co-host today. The cool thing is both Megan and I, we've been plugging into meetings and things like that. And I know for me, the week prior, so I had this idea of let's do Mojo Mondays when the Mojo Monday kind of fell by the way, when Power Players stopped doing the Mojo Monday. But I wasn't ready yet to like step into that postured leadership position because who am I? I'm a Ruby leader. I'm not a Blue Diamond leader. I don't make the six figures a month or any of that stuff, right? So who am I to lead like this Mojo Monday call, right? But I felt with through one of the trainings with Mindy where she says you have to act like that now. If I want to be a blue diamond, I need to start being a blue diamond now, and then that follows, right? And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna lead these Mojo Mondays, but I'm all about not being the star of the show. I'm all about empowering people. And Megan, she was like the same thing. She did the GoPro training, and she's like, okay, I need to show up as a leader that I am. Because a leader is not a rank, you guys. A leader is really a mindset. A leader is when you have something that you've experienced and you have results that other people want, and you show up and share the how to, that's where you are a leader. So, today we have Megan, and one of the things that I love about Megan is I'm always seeing her like in the High Vibe Tribe chat, and a couple of other chats. We're in a couple of different chats together, but she is always there. Like, this is one thing that I'm not good at. She's always there saying, "Hey, this training's happening. Hey, this training, here's the link to this. Hey, this is happening. This is happening. This is happening." Like, that gives my brain overload. So I'm grateful that there are people like Megan that has this strength, that's something that I am missing from. So that's the first thing that I've noticed about Megan. But then we hopped on a call and we kind of mapped out a plan. And you guys, she has some gold here. Okay, she has some gold and how, well, I'm not going to tell her story. I'm going to let her tell her story, but just listen in where you're at in your business. Either you're going to take these nuggets for you and you're going to apply them for you, or you're going to take these nuggets for other people in your team that might be needing this exact type training. So I'm going to go ahead and put myself on mute and let Megan tell her story and the things that she learned. Go for it, Megan.
Well, thank you so much, my dear. I appreciate it this morning. Welcome, everybody. So, like Marcian said, I'm Megan. I've been with Trinot for 5 years now. My anniversary was actually last month on the 30th. So, I have been a total of 5 years. When I started with Trinot, I started just for a product discount. I wasn't interested in getting to grow a business. I wasn't interested in doing anything leadership wise. I strictly was doing for products because if anyone knows my backstory, I had issues with gut health and needed help. So let's fast forward a little. So through those 5 years, I had started trickling in my business. I like to put it. I wasn't running for anything. I was trying to grow, work on things, had my legs. As of this past January, I decided to put my foot down and actually run. I was home now for 2 years total with my daughter. I had all my leg placements, but I didn't have quite the volume I needed to get to the rank that I was going, even for Jade. So with that said, I decided to start shifting things. I was optimistic about the whole process because it was new, it was scary, but this was something I knew I wanted to do and I could do because of sitting at home now with my daughter. Everybody goes, it takes an hour a day. It really does. If you can map out, it takes an hour a day. That's all you need sometimes. But I was home. I was scared because part of me was excited, but part of me was nervous and scared because I did have history with another company. It wasn't a very good experience. I failed tremendously at it. And so coming into this, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm ready to do this. But all mindset aside, I sat here and said, you know what? I now have a child, which I never thought was going to happen, to be honest. And now I'm going to cry about it. But I never thought I would have my daughter because it wasn't playing in the cards years prior. So when we found out we were pregnant, it was actually exciting. And it was kind of like oh my God, I now am responsible for this little person. So now to have a business and be home and be with her and show her what mommy can do is now the reason why I do what I do. It is not just I'm doing this to pay for my products. I'm doing this to show my husband I can do something. I mean, while all part of that is true, this is really for her. Is I don't want her to ever grow up and think I can't do something because I'm not good enough. And so, don't mind me for a second. We started with January, went through the years. Like I said, I call it trickling. That's just the best way to put it. And then summer hit. And I don't know if anybody else has had this problem, but summer hits, school's out, kids are out, teachers are on vacation, all this stuff. And my business just went. And I was like, okay. And so the self-doubt started kicking back in of like, it's me. I'm not doing enough. I can't do this. I set a goal to go farther after I hit Jade. And was super close, messaging everybody like crazy, all this stuff. And when I didn't hit it, and I was literally, y'all, like here within arm's reach, um, the voices, I like to call them, started coming back. It's not happening because I'm not enough. I'm not getting the support I need from anyone. No one's understanding where I'm trying to come from. No one's understanding the dream that I'm going by saying you can stop pharmaceuticals and find something in front of you that's healthier. Um, it got frustrating, like really just got frustrating. So all the stuff that negative people tell you, whether it be yourself self-sabotaging yourself, people telling you, you know, you can't do this business isn't for you, it's a waste of money, it's another MLM, whatever it may be. Um, that's where my summer sat. And I kind of let it take the best of me for a little bit. And so fast forward, we had TLA coming up, um, and kept doing what I was doing, started getting out of the rut, and sat there and said, you know what, I got to change my mind. There is nothing I can do besides to change my mindset, or I'm going to consistently just go downhill. And I'm going to eventually get to a point that I don't want to do this anymore. And so after 5 years, I sat there and said, let's change this. So now let's fast forward to, you know, we did TLA. We all went through there, all the excitement that came from that. Before TLA came, I recruited within the months of about 7 new customers. And so there is now 7 new customers. It's an excitement for me. There is now a consistent daily work with me because of what I was doing to show up to get those 7 customers. They have consistently been reordering since I got them. And now I have a mindset of it's okay to not be okay. As long as you can show up and you can be authentic and be yourself, it's okay to not be okay. And I'm pretty sure other leaders have said the same thing. Um, but it really is. It's one of those things that, like Marcianne said, you can show up messy and it's okay. You're still there. This is real life. I was teasing her already that I woke up this morning with a migraine, but I'm here. Instead of telling her, hey, I can't be here, I'm going to stay in bed and go put ice on my face, I'm here. So I wanted to just share with you all 3 big things that I felt helped me change my mindset from summer where I was depleted to getting those 7 customers leading up to now. Like Marcianne said, we've all done mentor calls, whether it be Jen Dowd, Bray Richardson, Tina Joy Carroll, Eric Worre, Ray Higgins, you name it, we all have some aspect to it. When we did this last GoPro, for anybody that was on, I kept hearing the same repetitive thing of, you know, you are not taught to be a network marketer. This is something you learn. I loved Leah's example of being a baby and you don't know how to talk, but you had to learn to talk. You had to learn to walk. So it's no different than working our business where we have to learn and take the steps to do what we need to do to be successful. Um, Creating a game plan was a big change for me. It wasn't something I ever did, but I started doing. So I map out game plans for 30 days. Every 30 days, I go with the mindset of this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. At the end of the month, I take it and reevaluate. Okay, it worked or it didn't. Now, what am I going to change to go? And so I use stuff like Chat GPT, map me out a thing and tell me what I should do for 30 days based off X, Y, and Z goals that I have. Stuff of like making my Mojo every morning or my metabolic mocktail in the afternoon or post throughout the day that people are seeing something, like we said, about showing up consistently. So that could be even something simple in that 30 days. And then my last one was, well, before I go there, I actually want to say within my 30 days to help grow your mindset too with posting and stuff like this, you can do these game plans and not necessarily show up on social media. You can do these 30-day consistencies and do reading, mindset training, journaling, whatever. It doesn't have to always be on social media, because without you growing your mind, you're not going to get anywhere either. So, and my last one was, I don't know if anyone's done it. Let me know in the chat. But my biggest thing was I tried something new for a year, and I would show up on and off because I wanted to test it. But I've done online vendor events. And that was something where I was showing up online social media consistently, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, product a day, what it did. But I was also doing an event to teach people, because I was the only one from Trinot, to show what we had, what we offered, what it did for people, testimonies on what it did for people, what it did for myself, along with I'm competing with other people that are doing health and wellness space. But I got a lot of customers from them because they were like, I want to try. I want to know more about this. My so-and-so struggles with whatever. My husband struggles with lack of energy. What do you have that he's not drinking 7 Monsters a day? We have Zest. We have Mojo. We have things to help people. So there are options of things you can do. Don't ever give up on yourself. The biggest thing I can say and take away is you really got to believe in you. You didn't join Trinot to sit and say, I can't do this. I mean, if you want to make money, then you kind of got to put in the work, whether it be little, small, or big, however you want to do it. So I appreciate all of your time. Thank you so much, Marcy Ann. I will throw it back to you, my dear.
All right, give her some loves, give her some round of applause. And what amazing tips that she shared from, preaching to the choir here, plugging into the mentorship that's available. We have so much mentorship available, right? And then something she didn't really say, but I think you can kind of glean from, she's taking action from those mentorship calls, right? Specifically reaching out to me saying, hey, I want to show up, right? Like, I want to show up. That was an action she took from getting on to mentorship calls, right? She's also shared that consistency is key in something, right? Like, I heard a quote yesterday at church, and I'm probably gonna mess it up because I didn't come prepared with that quote, but it was basically focus on what you can do versus getting weighed down from what you cannot do, right? Which is basically the shame piece, right? So if all you can do is the mindset piece, do that consistently. And then I think you'll be surprised on how easily the other things stack into that. Okay. And so, and Megan shared exactly about that. And then she talked about her vendor event. That was so gold. Before I move on to my stuff, I just want to open it up for you guys to share any nuggets that you took from Megan yourself, like any ahas, also questions that she can answer. And then I'm going to go ahead and wrap this call up. So I'm going to give you guys some time. I'm going to mute myself. And if you have something you want to share, showing her some love, some takeaways, or some questions, go ahead and unmute and let's give some time and space for that.
I want to say something. I never heard that. Can you guys hear me? Just want to make sure. Yeah, okay. I had never heard about that. What did she say about the baby learning how to walk and everything? And I think that's like a really good analogy within myself as well. Is that when I came into this, I didn't know nothing. I, and slowly, I'm coming on 3 years, and slowly I'm also getting there. I'm learning the nuggets. Like, it's like I have to learn how to crawl. I have to learn how to walk, and so within myself, you're just taking those steps to become a better person and a better leader and get all the nuggets. And of course, we have you guys who are awesome leaders that are always there um, for us as well to help lead us the way.
Yes, amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm going to read some things from the chat and then if you want to unmute or whatever. But Lori Allen was like, great nuggets, consistency plus action.
We all got to
Um,
shout out Lori. We love Lori.
yes, we love Lori.
I miss Lori's name. I'm sorry.
Britt said the game plan is a great idea. Cassandra says, I liked mapping out 30 days at a time, loving the raw stories, right? Like, that's the vulnerability. When you have the courage to show up in that raw story, that's where the emotion is, right? That's what accelerates the results is those emotions. Can you guys see why she was able to take her business and grow to 7 new customers because of that raw emotion she feels when she thinks about her daughter and showing up for her daughter? Like, incredible. All right, I'm gonna unmute. I'm gonna mute again and see if anybody else wants to unmute and share anything. Okay, so maybe those shared in the chat because they can't unmute. So I just wanted to go ahead and jump in here, and I just want to add in one of the reasons why this was like so aligned perfectly with Megan jumping on and sharing this. Nothing's by accident, you guys. I hope you understand. There's nothing by accidents. Her story is sharing about how she got 7 new customers that are now reordering consistently. How many of you guys would like 7 new customers that reorder consistently, right? Like, how many of you understand that the accelerator bonus is all about getting 7 new customers and associates? Yes, there's a volume attached to it, but layers by layers. Maybe you'll get it all and you'll get it the first month you try. Maybe your belief is that you have to get a couple one month and a couple the next month. And then you have the belief that you can get it all in one month. Maybe you'll get the 7 new, but not the volume. Like there's no it's all stepping stones depending on where your belief is at. And that kind of lines into what I want to say is mindset is about the thoughts that we project, right? The emotions is about the heart. That's the part that we innately believe. How many of you guys have ever said, I'm going to be a blue diamond? And then inside your heart, you're hearing like, yeah, not even a chance, right? Like, so where the magic happens is where you can bring the heart piece to the thought piece and you can get those aligned. And that is truly where the results accelerate. I'm reading a book. I'm going to share more about this as we go each Mondays. What all the things I've learned about this through certification. Now I'm reading a book that's talking more about the science ways, but I am telling you that energy, the energy you emit is going to be put out there and going to be picked up for better or worse. So I just want to plug that in there, right? Because if you are dwelling on the why nots, you're going to get more reasons for why nots. And so learning to kind of reframe those. I always like to that's going out of my head. I'm like physically pulling it out of my head. I think Tina Joy Carroll talks about delete alt, right? Whatever, the whatever it is that can help you go from that to this. But what I wanted to share now, which kind of aligns back to what I shared at the very beginning, is emotional memory, something that's going to help you align your heart with your thoughts and where you want to go is walkout music, right? How many of you guys have shared, they talk about pick out your walkout music now. Start, exploring some songs that just really talk to you. And that song, the Overcomer song that we played before the meeting started, it just reminded me of all the times I've been knocked down in my life. And it's like, but I'm an overcomer, right? I'm an overcomer. And so that's one of my potential walkout songs. I don't know what it's going to actually be, but I have created a playlist that I go and then I like to pair that oftentimes with my walk in the morning. We're busy people. We want to be able to, do 2 things at once. And so one of the things I've been doing more so this month, especially is and last month too, but I am pairing my walks, my movement, and movement is energy with my walkout songs, with my thoughts, right? And so as I'm listening to the music and I'm hearing that emotion, I'm also telling myself where I want to go with my thoughts. So I'm kind of combining those things, and that is where you're going to accelerate the results. It's going to get you pumped up, it's going to get you fired up, and then once I've done that on my walks, I'm like messaging people out on my walks. My vibration is high. So now in my hour walk, I've done mindset, I've done emotions, and I've done the most important business action we can take, and that is creating conversations and reminding people, right? So get it over with all within the hour and doubling up, tripling up all the things. And so I just wanted to leave that with you guys. So just kind of a little assignment, I guess, so to speak, if it should you choose to accept it, right? Like, is come up with some songs that really light your soul on fire that tells you you can do this. Like it is possible for you. So you can get the heart piece aligned with the mind piece and ask ChatGPT for help. Especially if you've been using ChatGPT and ChatGPT knows kind of some of your doubts and things like that. And depending on the type of music that you want, like I'm definitely not your typical pump up the jam, rap, crap. I call it crap. Sorry if that's your jam. That's not my jam. I'm more of a Christian, inspiration, belief, overcoming, whatever. But like, and sometimes I stumble along songs just from when I'm creating reels and I have to add songs. I'm listening to trending songs. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really like that song. And so each Monday, we are gonna hop on early, should you choose to, right? And listen to some of the songs that I have found, or you can share some songs that you have found. I just personally ask no cussing in the music. I'm not saying you can't listen to that music on your own, but for this call, I would say no cussing on the music there. But so I also want to invite you to, if you are feeling called and you want to, you know, share and have the courage to show up if you've got something, or maybe you're not even sure you've got something. I mean, if I can be vulnerable for Megan for a moment, when we got on a call, she had all these ideas she wanted to share. And I'm like, oh, those are all great ideas. But what have you learned? What are your results? I mean, it took a little bit to figure out what the results are, but she clearly has amazing results. Would you say yes or yes, right? And so if you were like, I want to show up, but I have no idea what the saying or what my results are, I am happy to jump on a call and we can coach it through and figure that out. Next Monday, I'm going to be here. I have something on my heart that I want to share specifically, and I think it fits right in for the week of Christmas because we typically are givers, right? We don't have to talk about giving at Christmas time. We as women, we give our heart, we give our energy, we share our stories. We're constantly wanting to help people. We constantly want to give. But the most beautiful thing that Christmas is actually about, when you think about, the birth of Jesus Christ and what Jesus Christ can do in your life, is the receiving part. So I'm going to be talking about how we receive the results, right? How we can receive those results, because we can ask all day long and we can do all the things and give all the things. But if we don't get into a state of receiving, we may miss the whole gift that we want anyways. We may miss our goals because we aren't in a place to receive those goals. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about next Monday. But if you're like, you want to step up and you want to share something, we could be looking at the 29th of December or on into January. Whenever it is that you feel like you're ready, please reach out. This is not the Marcian Show. I've never wanted anything ever to be the Marcian Show. That's actually one of my limiting beliefs that I've had to overcome, because, how can you be a blue diamond if you don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? But I've always wanted collaboration. I've always wanted to help mentor and help leaders rise and all of that. So just wanted to share that with you guys. And then I can't wait for next week, or in the chats. If you find a song, share it in your team chats on a song that really speaks to you. And maybe share why. It's because I'm guessing there's going to be an emotional memory piece to that, like the overcomer. Do you guys know? You guys don't know. Obviously, I haven't shared it all, but I have failed so many flippin' times when it has come to figuring out my health and then business. Like I've failed so many times. So when I heard, and there have been times where I felt like I had failed like completely failed and that was just it. Like my story was over and it ended on the failure, right? And so that song, the Overcomer song, that it just speaks to the soul because it's like I do keep getting back up, right? I do keep showing up. And so things like that. So if you have specific thoughts that keep reoccurring doubts, find a song that speaks to the opposite of those doubts. And that's going to help you align your thoughts and your goals and your dreams with the emotional belief that it is possible for you. So, um, one last thing that I want to say, if anything that Megan did or I shared or the two of us shared really spoke to you and you want to share it on social media, I got some pictures, Megan. I got a picture of you. If you've taken any pictures, please do so and just share. That's going to give you a touch point for your social media. It's going to show the community that you're a part of. It's a great recruiting tool. And not going to lie, it feels nice to be recognized for the bravery, the courage, the things that your results, like it just is an all around win 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 for everybody involved. And so feel free to do that as well. And I'm going to stop the recording, but then also open it up in case anybody has anything that they want to share. How do I stop the recording?